They literally claimed he tried to overturn an election. And Stevie Wonder can see that he told them people to be peaceful when they did their protest. They should have prosecuted him a long time ago. They had the day he left office to the day he started, as the primary candidate to put him in prison. They didn't do any of it. They waited until an election year to trump up these charges and indict him in perp walking. They could have done it a long time ago, but they know it was full of crap, because if they'd have done it a long time ago, the cases would have been dismissed by the time he would become president. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. I want to bring up the first line of, news that have broke earlier today, and that is that the judge dismissed all charges against President-elect Donald Trump. It reads that Special Counsel Jack Smith has requested that a judge dismiss all charges against President-elect Donald Trump related to the investigation of the January 6th U.S. Capitol breach. According to Fox News Digital, Smith indicated plans to wind down the case. The filing was posted on the Department of Justice docket Monday afternoon. Bring me that Fox clip real quick. And let me just say this. I told y'all, everybody arguing me at the University of Washington campus. You know who you are. Remember the guy that said he was an economist? You know you are. You probably watching me right now. I told you they weren't going to indict the man. This is all fluff. Now, there's a reason why they're dismissing these charges, and it's not just because it's fluff. We all knew it was fluff. They knew it was fluff. They knew they would never get anywhere with it. They were just trying to stop the man from becoming the president of the United States of America, because it didn't have strong enough merit to put him in jail behind any of this. And if it did have some merit to put him in jail, then they would have put him in jail before he got a chance to be a sitting president. So it's all foolery and bullcrap, and everybody owe Donald Trump an apology, and they owe me an apology, especially the ones on there running their mouth and talking silly. All right, roll the clip.
I'm sorry, where are we going?
John, I'll jump in here. We've got some breaking news out of D.C. David Spunt reporting right now. Special Counsel Jack Smith is seeking to dismiss the Trump election interference case in Washington, D.C. We should note that this was expected. We've been reporting for a few weeks now that this would happen, since the DOJ cannot prosecute a sitting president. Today, this news brings us one step closer to this case formally being dropped. The judge is going to need approval for this before anything is officially dismissed, as David's reporting, and that could come as soon as today. I believe David Spunt is up now. He's got this news for us. David.
Well, hey, Sandra, after almost 2 years of this Jack Smith saga, things seem to be ending for him. We just need the judge to sign off on it. After thousands of pages and hundreds of hours of interviews, it comes down to just 6 pages. Jack Smith, the special counsel, asking Judge Tanya Chutkan to dismiss this superseding indictment. This is the election interference case in Washington, D.C., where Donald Trump was charged with trying to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. Ultimately, Smith says that DOJ does not prosecute sitting presidents. This never went to trial. It was supposed to go to trial earlier this year. That never happened. So he's asking to dismiss this case. Separately, we're waiting to see if and how he's asking to move forward in the documents case in Florida. Now, you may say that case was dismissed this summer, and that's true. It was dismissed this summer. However, Jack Smith, at the time, he didn't know Donald Trump was going to win, and he filed an appeal with the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals in Atlanta. We're told that he's also going to be filing something soon, winding down that case as well. So as of now, these cases are not officially dropped yet, but Smith is asking Judge Chutkan, who's expected to move along with it, and say, okay, we're going to drop this case because we cannot prosecute a sitting president. Separately, if I may add, President-elect Trump said that he would fire Jack Smith within, quote, 2 seconds of taking office. It doesn't appear that the president-elect will even have the opportunity to do that, because we've been reporting for several weeks now that Jack Smith will be gone at that point. On January 20th at noon, he will have stepped down. So at some point over the next several weeks, he's going to step down. They're going to close up the special counsel office, and this case will not go to trial.
Let me add, because the media came out not too long ago. We'll play that clip here. Let's get the CNN clip. CNN came out, somebody on CNN said that he's above the law. No. Jack Smith, if you look at the investigations that he was involved in, are all investigative things that is covered under presidential immunity. I don't know why that people thought that somehow this guy was going to go to jail over any of this stuff. It's all bullcrap. The Democrat Party weaponized the government against Donald Trump. They threw all these charges out there to make his reputation go down and for people not to vote for him because he's this criminal. He's indicted. He's a felon. They wanted to put that on his record, knowing that it won't stop him from running for president and it won't stop him from becoming a president. And thank God the founding fathers and the Supreme Court got this right. Because what happens is if a person has enough leverage and power and influence, they could potentially put their political opponent in jail. And that's something that we want to avoid. We'll talk about presidential immunity in a second, but I want to play the clip from CNN and so you can hear them cry a river about how Donald Trump is above the law. But I'm going to give you an articulable reason why he's not above the law. This is constitutionally protected. This is the Supreme Court of the United States of America that's articulating very clearly what already exists. This is not a new existence of a new immunity that Donald Trump somehow got. This is them clearing up and articulating the ground rules of presidential immunity, both civil and criminal. Let me tell you about the sale we got. 47% off for the Donnie. So we got the Donnie dance shirt for the signature Don dance. 47% off the entire store. Store-wide, 47% off. All you got to do is put in code THANKS47. THANKS47, you get 47% off the entire store. I had to tell you guys because I told you on Wednesday we're going to drop the Black Friday sale. It's going to go all the way through Cyber Monday. Maybe we'll do something a little different on Cyber Monday. All the merch you love, all the good stuff we have here that you see, 47% off. Go and shop now before it's too late. So let's get to the CNN clip. Roll it.
And Goldman of New York. He sits on the House Homeland Security Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us. Just right off the bat, your reaction to Jack Smith announcing that he will file to dismiss the charges in the election subversion case against former President Trump.
Well, look, I certainly understand why he did it, given the Department of Justice policy that you cannot prosecute a sitting president. I think it is a shame for justice in this country. It establishes that Donald Trump is above the law. The Supreme Court put him above the law in that opinion that Paula just mentioned. But now he appears to escape full accountability for what were crimes charged by a grand jury. And I would just add one other thing that we ought to pay close attention to. We cannot normalize the fact that Donald Trump, as the president-elect, should not be held accountable for crimes that he committed before. If he were to have fired the special counsel, that would be a gross abdication of the independence of the Department of Justice. And if the shoe were on the other foot, for example, and Joe Biden were to have fired David Weiss, who clearly had a politicized investigation because the House Republicans effectively scuttled a plea agreement, everyone would be up in arms. So let's make sure that we don't normalize.
Let's go back down memory lane. Make that left at the light and let's go down memory lane. All right. I remember when Donald Trump was president, and I'm young enough to remember this, and some of you guys who don't have dementia or you got selective hearing or whatever you want to call it. There's another term I want to use. I can't think of it right now. Amnesia. There you go. Some of y'all got amnesia and you forgot. Donald Trump was in office. His attorney general recused himself, Jeff Sessions, who's a coward. He recused himself, and they literally investigated him his entire presidency. For 3 years, they investigated him on Russia collusion. They had a special counsel, Mueller, who did all this crazy stuff, running on evidence that was fake. He didn't fire him. Donald Trump let the fake investigation run its course. So don't give me that crap that Donald Trump would have done this and if the shoe was on the other foot. Y'all had a fake investigation into Donald Trump when he's the president, and he let it go. His attorney general was feckless, and they let it go. They let him investigate Donald Trump for no reason, no real reason. They knew it was fake when they did it. And now we see that Donald Trump said he's going to fire dum-dum here, Jack Smith, and that's because the investigations into Donald Trump were politicized. Everybody knows it. It was politicized when he was the president. It was politicized now so he couldn't become the president again. That's all that this was. Donald Trump is not above the law, and the Supreme Court didn't create him to be above the law. The Supreme Court gave their opinion on an already existing immunity that was given to every president before Trump and after Trump. Bill Clinton had it. Obama had it. They didn't just somehow come up with this immunity claim. What they did was they gave in their opinion on these certain cases that exist because there needs to be a course correction or a precedent that has been set because they did things that nobody has ever done in the history of this country against a former president. And we all know Donald Trump didn't do anything wrong. They literally claimed he tried to overturn an election. And Stevie Wonder can see that he told them people to be peaceful when they did their protest. And then they go on and do something silly ain't got nothing to do with Donald Trump. You can say whatever you want to say. If the man really did what they claim he did, they should have prosecuted him a long time ago. They had the day he left office to the day he started, as the primary candidate to put him in prison. They didn't do any of it. They waited until an election year to trump up these charges and indict him and perp walk him. They could have done it a long time ago, but they know it was full of crap because if they'd have done it a long time ago, the cases would have been dismissed by the time he would become president. So they did it during election year, so they can't do they're in ambiguity so that they can push whatever agenda they wanted to push. Finish the clip.
As Donald Trump's political partisan behavior that has no place under our rule of law.
Congressman, you know that the American people were well aware of the charges that Donald Trump was facing in this case and several others. What do you make of the argument that they essentially served as a jury and by reelecting him and now making him president-elect, they have weighed in on these matters?
I don't give any credence to that argument. I think what was very clear is that people voted for Donald Trump because they thought that he was going to improve the lives of the middle class.
Yeah, right. They voted for Donald Trump for a myriad of different things. They believe he was going to improve the middle class. They believe his economic prowess would lead us to success. They knew that he would end wars all around the world. They knew that Donald Trump was going to take care of business. All the people who support Donald Trump and all the people who voted for him 3 times now, we all knew that he was going to drain the swamp and do everything that we need to do. He has an accountability sector of his cabinet that he created to hold the government officials accountable as far as spending and finance. That makes 100% sense. That's why we voted for him. And then you can go off and look at, some of the other things that he's going to put in place with making America healthy again and all of those other things. Those are the reasons that we voted for Donald Trump. And these cowards, I hope they continue to stay on TV lying about Donald Trump because we're going to continue to win. They're missing the boat. They do not understand what's going on. They do understand, but they want to lie to the masses to try to get them convinced. Donald Trump won because Donald Trump is clearly what's best for America. Everybody and their mama saw them indictment and charges and stuff like that, and I think it's crazy. We knew it was crazy. We knew it was phony. We knew it was BS, and so did most people in America. And the only people that don't know that it was BS is because they full of BS themselves. They know it. They just don't like the guy. They're soy boys. They wife got a boyfriend. That's the kind of men that voted for Kamala Harris. I ain't even lying. I don't know a man that can look himself in the mirror and say, I legitimately, unequivocally decided to vote for Kamala Harris because of certain things. Because there is no man in the world that should be supportive of abortion. How are you a man and you think that's okay for women to take the lives of the unborn without cause whatsoever? What man is sitting around talking about soy and Green New Deal? And man, every man I know want a diesel. Want to put that thing in gear. Run that diesel up. I want to go to the gas pump and pump the one that's green. Give me the diesel gas. I want to smell that fresh diesel coming out the tailpipe of that GMC 2500. That's America. I don't want that car whistling. I want it grunting. Some of these Hillary supporters, not Hillary, but Kamala supporters, they want their car to go. I want that thing to. I want to hear that turbo spool up. I might get it deleted so the smoke can come out. America. That's what I want. Breathe in them fumes. Come on, I want to breathe that diesel in. That's all I want. And y'all can have your little air, your little. And I don't like the hybrid. Somebody said in the chat, What about the hybrid? No, I don't want a hybrid. I want to get sick. I want my lungs to fall out. I want the trees to come crumbling down because I ain't nowhere in the world that I crank up my Ferrari and hear it go. I want to hear it go. Vroom, pow, 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 pow. I want my neighbors to call the police on me. So much going on in that car. I want it to scare me. If my cars don't scare me and make me get dizzy if I turn it on in the garage, then I ain't living in America. I'm joking, y'all. I mean, some of it I'm joking. Of course, you want clean energy and all this other stuff. But man, I ain't giving up. No, you know how crazy the world would be if they really said no gas cars. Like the world wouldn't be the same. You telling me that we don't have muscle cars, which is America car. This is what America's made on muscle cars. You telling me that we're gonna be at the Talladega or the Indy 500 or whatever, and they're gonna be going around the track going, what? That's not an event. When you go to that race car and they come, they come run you shaking at that car rumbling so hard down the track. That's America, baby. But y'all want the car to just be. I'll never go watch an event like that. You might as well. I think horse racing make more noise than that. Watch a car just wind just going around the track. Go shut the front door. We needed the rumble. The whole stadium about to fall apart because it's rumbling so loud. I don't know if any of y'all been to a NASCAR. I went to a NASCAR race and I was blown away. I got a little excited listening to them cars come around that track like that. I'm like, oh, I see why people go to this. I see why people go to these events. I see why sponsors put their money. I see why people doing this. It's the coolest thing you ever seen or heard. But anyway, I got more stuff to get to.